Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Spotty Pablo in the Big O Show. Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, we go. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style. Break it a morning, it's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping you glued in. Stay tuned, because right here's where the rumors in. Same place, because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sports talks, the Big O Show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it, call them and let them know. Yeah. Big O, we told you we ain't playing no games, man. It's just surely probably Pablo, Culture, Lord Productions.
Good morning, South Florida.
This is the Big O Show.
You're tuned into the Big O Show.
This is the Big O Show.
All right, we are ready to rock and roll.
This is the Big O Show.
Put on my mask here.
Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show.
All right, baby, we ready to rock. We ready to roll. Hope you all are doing well on a beautiful Tuesday. Rocking again from the Inter Miami Stadium. Tomorrow we'll be at VSS West Pines like we normally are. Thursday we'll be out at Toyota of Hollywood. And Friday at Craig's Inn. And that's it. No Hialeah Park on Fridays for now, at least, until we get it going again. Although Disney, I think I saw that they're opening back up again over the weekend, I think, or something like that. They're not wasting any time, baby. Let's bring on some new COVID cases. We'll get it done. It's a beautiful thing, man. So you know, Disney's already ready to spread more COVID by opening up in the weekend, which is really, really smart. See. They set to open on Saturday is the story out for Disney. There you go. Happiest place on earth is reopening. Disney World theme parks will begin resuming operations as early as Saturday. Company put out a video showing workers getting ready to welcome guests back and spread COVID. It's a beautiful thing. So there you go. You got it. I don't know if you saw this. I saw this story on COVID, which is, it was kind of bothersome. I sent it to a friend of mine. I did record like a clip of it. I can actually play because, it's one of those deals. But there we go. Here we go. Let me see. No, I won't need to raise it. It'll be loud enough with my mic.
The airborne transmission of the novel coronavirus. 239 scientists from 32 countries have signed a paper saying we appeal to the medical community and to the relevant national and international bodies to recognize the potential for airborne spread of COVID-19. The concern is about microscopic droplets that linger in the air and can travel further than 2 meters and could be infectious, especially in enclosed spaces with poor ventilation.
How about that? So, it's just like a whole bunch of scientists signed up that now this thing can travel and microscopic droplets that even go through your mask and stuff. I mean, it's just, it's crazy stuff, dude. And so that's why I put on the damn mask, because at least you got a shot at stopping some of it. And if you don't have one, you have no shot at stopping anything except spreading it. And also head to Disney World, head to the Ozarks, hang out with people in the pool. Go protesting without a mask, and definitely go support Trump without a mask. All those things also will help you, have a healthy life, of course.
It's a situation where obviously the governor, they're not going to step up. It's the individual counties, like the way Miami shut down, right?
Yes.
They're basically large and in charge.
Well, no, that's only because we have a crazy amount of cases, so they have to do something about it. So they're reacting to it, but I mean, everybody's dropped the ball in all of this. Our mayor, the governor, the president, everybody else. It's been an absolute disaster, but it is what it is. What are you going to do? Although I was happy, I got home. I have my night flight shirt on, my night flight shirt waiting for me yesterday. So I was able to. There you go, dog hair. You got 4 dogs. Anyway, so it was cool to get my little night flight shirt. I've told you guys about night flight. If you're a music fan, go to Prime. If you have Prime Video. Amazon Prime, just in case. I don't know if you live under a rock and I just say Prime and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But Prime has got the Night Flight series and they've got new episodes. So it's actually really cool that they've kind of brought the thing back and it found a home on Amazon Prime. I used to watch this show all the time when I was a youngster. It was one of my favorite shows. And the best part about this show, for those of you that don't have a large attention span, it's, 10, 12 minutes, and that's it. And you got like 5 stories in 10, 12 minutes. It's awesome. You know what I mean? So it bounces around, gives you all kinds of, music angles. If you get the opportunity, trust me, if you love music like I do, Night Flight is one of those shows you got to watch. It was such a classic back in the day. So anyway, all right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Pat Mahomes, he gets his 10-year contract yesterday. It's an extension, so they've got 12 years on it. The value is $503 million. It averages 50.3. There's all kinds of guarantees and kickers and all that stuff. And look, none of us really know the exact guarantee numbers throughout the life of the contract. First of all, he has to kind of stay healthy to enjoy the life of the contract. And like all of these contracts, like all of these NFL contracts, okay? Because that's how you got to phrase it. It's not ever the way it looks. And if he does get injured, I'm sure there's going to be some guarantees that they're going to have to be on the hook for, but it won't be $500 million. And what happens now, the challenge for the Kansas City Chiefs now is trying to maintain. Okay? Example. You pay Russell Wilson, and now you can't pay the Legion of Doom the way you wanted to. The team disintegrates, basically. Now they've rebuilt it up again. And notice, everybody around him pretty much is young. They haven't had to pay them either. And they're paying Russell. So the idea, they've got to win with a lot of the young guys around them. If they don't, and those young guys get better and better, and they get to the point of salaries, they won't be able to keep all of them again. So they've got a small window again to try to win around Russell with a young group. The last time around they won when everybody was young and they hadn't paid everybody. The Ravens went through the same thing. They won the Super Bowl. They had to pay Flacco, but everybody else wanted their money. And if you remember, in that scenario, they were in a contract dispute with Flacco the year before. And Flacco was like, they didn't agree on the number that Flacco and Joe Linta wanted. So they okay, well, you know what? We'll play out the last year and we'll bank on ourselves. And they did. He went to the Super Bowl. He had an incredible playoff run. They paid him all that money, and then they couldn't pay everybody else. And then Baltimore could not stay on top. That will be the challenge for Kansas City. And while Mahomes is the best player in the NFL, and he deserves his money, okay, I can go to you and say, do they win the Super Bowl without Chris Jones? And you might say, I don't know. I don't think they will. Or maybe they do enough that they get by. Well, Chris Jones wants to get paid. And he hasn't signed his tender. And he doesn't plan on signing his tender unless he gets the contract he wants. Can Kansas City afford it? I mean, I'm sure this thing ain't going to kick in and that they may have some space still, but will they be able to afford Chris Jones? It's really hard to pay 2 quarterbacks on your team. And I know Mahomes is getting a lot more than the average quarterback, but then you're going to have to pay Chris Jones like slightly below average quarterback money, right? Because I would imagine it's like $25 million now average or something. It's kind of crazy. So you look at it, this is where the challenge gets for Kansas City. And so if you can't pay Chris Jones, that's going to set your defense back. That's the challenge now for Kansas City. They've got to be exceptional at drafting and developing young guys around Mahomes in order to stay elite. They will not be able to live off of free agency because they won't have the cap room. And they won't really be able to keep several players and pay them large contracts. They might be able to keep a couple. So the question is, which ones do you keep? And is it Chris Jones? That's, I saw where Ian Rappaport says they had not reached a point where they were happy by giving Chris Jones $20 million. And he wants that now. So if they weren't willing to give it to him before, are they going to give it to him now after they've paid Mahomes? That will be the challenge now. Look, they did what they had to do. You had to sign Mahomes. You have no choice. Okay? So that, to me, that's where the problem lies now for Kansas City. Not a problem. It's a challenge. Okay? Because re-signing Pat Mahomes is not a problem. You know, that's a beautiful thing. That guy's a hell of a player. He's a good dude overall. You know, he's likable as hell. I gotta say, it's one of those where they did the responsible thing. Now it's a crazy ass number, and it's going to drive everybody else crazy around the league because it's going to raise the number for all the other quarterbacks. And there are several now that are waiting in the wings. It got interesting too because as Mahomes signs his contract, you start getting the reactions from different people around the league and even some of his teammates. J.J. Watt was one that had a funny. He tweeted back to Deshaun Watson at Deshaun Watson, and he had the meme where Shaq is shaking his shoulders and smiling like, "Hey Watson, it's coming, buddy. You're gonna get your money now." Because now the Houston Texans, have got to pay now Deshaun Watson because they see the money that Mahomes got. And so now J.J. Watt is like, well, hey, my teammate looks like he's going to get paid a lot of money. Now you can't pay him the money you pay Mahomes. That'll be interesting. Will the agent for Deshaun Watson and Deshaun say, well, we're just as good? Well, you're not. You're more injury prone. Because Mahomes had the one injury, but you've had several injuries. And yeah, you're a winner, but you don't have a Super Bowl. And those are the facts. Nobody, while this is going to rock the market, it should not rock the market to the point that others feel like, let's say when Kirk Cousins gets the $30 million, man, there's a bunch of quarterbacks that say, you're getting that guy 30? Well, then, yeah, I definitely get paid more. Nobody should be passing Pat Mahomes right now. So that will be interesting because remember what I just told you. You got to pay Laramie Tunsil, right? And now you're going to pay also Deshaun Watson. That's a lot of money now. And you have no choice because you traded for Tunsil. You gave up the world for Tunsil. So you have to give him that contract and you have to give Deshaun Watson that contract. The Texans aren't going to have any kind of room to maneuver at all between those two guys. That's the domino effects of the Pat Mahomes deal. It's great for the Chiefs. It's definitely great for Mahomes and Lee Steinberg. But then the challenge comes for Kansas City to maintain. That's a hell of a challenge. And then the league now has to react off of that contract. because now everybody else is kind of measured there. Okay, I'm not Mahomes, but I'm just under him. So instead of 50 million, I want 47. Are you paying 47 million a year for Deshaun Watson? Wow. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it starts to get a little crazy now, that deal for everybody else. So you had J.J. Watt reacting to it with the whole Shaq thing. You had Mahomes, by the way, he had a nice little message too for everybody else out there. And listen, it was more of what would say an inspirational, let's go get him type of message. Mahomes puts out about the new deal. He tweeted out a highlight of them and put Chiefs Kingdom. He says, "You've been with me since the beginning, from rookie year to becoming a starter, to the unconventional, to doing whatever it takes to win, to showdowns. You've helped me come back from injury. You've helped us come back from deficits, multiple deficits. You helped us overcome adversity, become Super Bowl champs, and we're staying together for a long time. We're chasing a dynasty." And I love that about Mahomes. I love that he's connecting with his fans and all of that and chasing the dynasty. But, man, did he put a lot of pressure now on himself and on that front office and coaching staff. Because in order to do what Brady and Belichick did, a lot of times Brady took less money. Mahomes is not doing that. He did not give any kind of hometown discount. Yeah, I'll take $20 million, man. I just want to make sure that when I'm leaving, the Arrowhead every Sunday, I get some of the best barbecue around the stadium taken home with me. It wasn't anything like that. There's no discounts. So it's a nice statement to make. It's a really difficult task to follow through with. So that's I mentioned it earlier, how what happened with Seattle, what happened with Baltimore. It's nice to say, hey, yeah, we're here, we're gonna make a dynasty and all of that, but there's a lot more to this thing than just, oh yeah, no, it's super simple. I'm here and we're gonna be a dynasty. You gotta play defense. You gotta have the weapons. Certain people are going to want to get paid. That wide receiver they got, he's got off the field issues. He stays clean for another year. You got to pay him too. Tight end, a lot of money. I mean, it starts to get crazy. It starts to get crazy. You got to watch out with that. 786-322 1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105. Josh says, oh, Mahomes is not Flacco. He didn't deserve that contract. Actually, he did, Josh. He did deserve that contract. Hey, you see, that's where the fan doesn't think like the player. And here's where you're wrong. So Flacco plays his rookie deal all the way out. Doesn't get any big money. Leads you to the title. Go look at that defense. It was a middle-of-the-road defense. Ray Lewis was done. He was making tackles 6 yards downfield. Okay? The offense carried them to that title. He went 11-0. in touchdown to interception ratio from the beginning of the playoffs through the Super Bowl. And they're not paying him $50 million. Back then, it was a lot of money, but I think it was like 20, I want to say. I can look it up for you. But it's
Flacco was the first 20 mil.
Yeah, it's not the thing that it's completely out of control. It's just they sucked after that. They couldn't really keep up. But you had to pay them, because you didn't have another quarterback at that point. And he kicked ass. He did everything you asked of him. See, that's the thing. So when he's playing his contract, Here, let me see if I can find the older deals here. Look, his entry-level contract, okay? His entry-level contract was a 5-year, $29 million deal. So he got $5.9 million per year on average. Then his next contract, after he hit the deal, it was $120 for 6 years, an average of $20.1 million. Remember, you were paying what's it called? Tannehill like $17 million. So it's really not that crazy of a contract that Flacco did, and he did his job. He played out the final year of his contract. You couldn't come to an agreement. He gambled on himself. The what's it called? The Ravens, by the way, Josh, could have signed him the year before the Super Bowl at a lot less, and they didn't offer enough, and so then the money went up after the Super Bowl. I mean, you can say what you want, but without Flacco, you don't win the Super Bowl. So you got to pay a price. And you rode his contract while it's like Dak Prescott. There's no doubt that you're going to overpay for Dak Prescott. And now, get ready, Cowboy fans, you're going to overpay a little more now because of Mahomes. Okay, so you're going to overpay, right? Great, no problem. You overpay. But you're paying also for rendered services. In Flacco's case, that's what you're doing. You gambled, you lost as a team. The guy led you to a Super Bowl. You got to reward him. It's not really a bad deal overall. Flacco did his job. Baltimore did not. You know what I mean? So I disagree with you on that one. Flacco deserved it. He balled out, man. He balled out. Now, was he that guy? No, he's not that guy. Flacco's the guy that needs the people around him in order to really be successful. There are other guys that have, like Mahomes, things can break down and he can overcome it. Flacco doesn't have that athleticism. He has a gun, he has accuracy, but if you don't give him time, he's done because he's a statue back there. And so that's what Baltimore did. They didn't do a good job. After they paid him, they lost the team, and Ozzie could not reload the right way. That's where he struggled a little bit. It took him a couple years to kind of reset the team again. It's a challenge, man. But I would not deny Flacco his money because he came through and did what he was supposed to do, Josh. That's why I would pay him. I got no problem with that.
That playoff run, he was what? 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, correct?
Yes, I said that already.
And the bombs that he beat Denver,
yes. Those
are all time, man.
I just enrolled my son in a QB school. Make some money, son. Drew Boo. It's fiscal irresponsibility. Every KC player is now envious of the QB. Yeah, but he's a special QB, man. And that dude's a hell of a player. Alan D says doing a 10-year contract is the discount. You're right. You're right, Al. You're right, Alan. That's actually a very good point on your part, because he could have signed a 5-year deal, wait for the market to reset, and then yes, you're right. You're right. Actually, in a way, giving them the 10-year or 12 actually, because it's a 10-year extension on top of the 2 that he has left. You're right. Actually, it is kind of a discount in a way, because down the line, the contract won't be nearly as crazy, which sounds crazy, but 6 years, 7 years from now, that contract won't be nearly as crazy because you'll be paying a lot of quarterbacks, that kind of money. So that's actually a really good point on your part. Nice job by you, sir. 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, baby. We're out here at the Inter Miami Stadium. Tomorrow, by the way, is the return. The MLS is back, and our team is kicking off the MLS tournament back, taking on Orlando City. We will have all the coverage for you. If you want to listen to it, go to our download our app, Inter Miami app, and you can listen to the broadcast. We will have all of the action. Pre-game will start at 7:30. Okay, myself, Alex Dono, will have it for you. So we'll have some fun tomorrow doing all of that, and Chris Whittingham and Thomas Rongen will have the play-by-play and color for you also for the game. They are the voices for us here at Inter Miami, so that's going to be a lot of fun.
I have a question because obviously this money and the salary cap's somewhere around 200 million, and him being at 45, I mean, that's 25% of the cap.
He's at 50.3.
When you break it down at the 503 million, but it's 450, and then it's
it goes up,
okay. And I think the guarantee injury thing was 140 million. Let me ask you, are you, because percentages of quarterbacks taking up salary on the cap, like nobody's been over 15% and won the Super Bowl.
That's why.
Is this kind of a gamble? Do you like this move?
That's what I said. This what becomes the challenge now, is building the team around him now.
No, but how do you think
it's really difficult now. You have no choice. What are you going to do?
You can't lose the guy.
What are you going to do?
You got to make him happy, right?
You have no choice. That's exactly what I said before. You have no choice. You had to pay him. You can't do anything about it. The guy balled out. It's the Flacco thing all over again that Josh says, oh, he doesn't, he does deserve it. You didn't want to pay him during his rookie deal before it expires. Mahomes is getting his money 2 years before it expires. They allowed Flacco to play out all 5 years and expire. And then they had to then give him the contract. That's the difference, but that's part of the game. Once you pay them, now you've got to try to build around them, and that becomes the challenge.
Nobody's ever done this, taking this much money off the cap.
No.
You think it's a good gamble? And do you think it's a good gamble?
It's you have to. It's not
right.
It's a terrible gamble in a way, because it puts you in an impossible position as a front office.
You got to hit on your draft picks.
But you have, yes, exactly. Did you
Cap.
Do you want to keep repeating everything I already said?
Dude, it's just, I can't believe you're going to do this for 10 years, though. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, I got it. I wonder what Mahomes could have gotten if it wasn't for D Ford's offsides versus New England in 2018 AFC game. Could have repeated as Super Bowl champs. Yeah, no, you're right. Russell Wilson could have had a second championship too, right? That's how it goes. Number one player is worth 20% of your team's salary. Bad gamble. Yeah, but you can't. If it's Tua, you're paying it. Tua wins a Super Bowl for the Dolphins in the third year. He's got 2 years left. Okay? I've had Andrew Brandt on my show 100 times. Former executive for the Packers, does an excellent job. Follow him on Twitter. He is a great follow on Twitter, and he's a great guest every time we have him on. He told me a long time ago, the great players, you pay them 2 years out. The good players, you pay them 1 year out. And that's what they're doing. They're paying a great player, and they have no choice. And what are you going to do? And if Tua did it for us, and in the third year won the Super Bowl, and still has 2 years left, Chris Greer has to go out and make a contract and take care of it, because you can't let it linger, because then it becomes a real problem. So you get rid of it and you move on. But that is the territory, Mark. You have no choice, okay? Once your guy wins a title, Russell Wilson, whatever, you got to sit there and go, all right, so how much do we have to write the check out for? You know what I mean? And that's the problem. When Flacco wins it, you got to pay him. When Russell wins it, you got to pay him. When Pat Mahomes wins it, you got to pay him. Dak has not won it, so you can finagle a little bit. But once the guy is the guy and brought you the hardware, and that hardware, you're going to make money off that hardware for the rest of your life. Because 50 years later, we're still talking about the undefeated season. 50 years later, people will still buy shirts that say undefeated on it. So you're still making money off that damn championship back in the 70s. So it's something reciprocal that is going to pay off for the rest of your life every time you add a title. It pays off on the player, Because if you're a one-time champion, you will have more endorsements than a zero champion. If you're a two-time champion, you're going to have more endorsements than everybody else. And if you're 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 like Brady, you got the world by the balls. You get my drift? So it is something that pays off for you all the way through. You're a Yankee, right? Shut the hell up. The Yankees, right? You've got Jeter. You've got Babe Ruth. You've got whatever, dude. All these retired numbers. Mickey Mantle, whatever. You're still going to sell those jerseys forever. Jeter's retired, bro. And people are going to be buying number 2 forever. Give me a pinstripe number 2. Give me an aqua and orange number 13. He retired, and you're still making money off Marino. You understand? So it's something that Mahomes is going to make money for you forever. So yeah, in a short amount of time, you got to give him that money. But then when he's done, like Marino, you're still going to make money off Pat Mahomes. Because up until Pat Mahomes, who the hell did they talk about? Len freaking Dawson. So let's not kid ourselves. The impact of a Super Bowl runs on for a long time for the franchise. The impact of a player runs a long time on the business end and on a personal end. So let's not be short-sighted and think, well, the contract is the only money, and then the team. No, the team's going to make a lot more money off of you down the line. It's just going to take years, but they'll be on the. It's like casinos, okay? You might have won this time around, but you didn't talk about the 8 other times you won, you lost. Casino always ends up ahead, dude. You had a great time. You had a blast. We all do it. We all go to the casino. We all lose, and we had a great time. Because most of us don't have a gambling problem. When you have a gambling problem, you're gambling to pay your rent or mortgage. That's crazy stuff. Most of us, we go, we lose, we had a great time, whatever. Hey, it is what it is. They're ahead. They're always going to be ahead. Teams will be ahead. Don't worry about it. Okay? They're going to make their money. They're going to make their money. And players, even when they're making their salary, if they're adding to their resume, they will add to their bottom line as the years go on. That's the way it is. Tom Brady's going to have sponsors till the day he dies. Don Shula was doing commercials sitting on a couch. Okay? Why? Because he's freaking Don Shula. They'll make money forever, man. They'll make money forever. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll be at VSS West Pines tomorrow, 12397 Pembroke Road. Come on by and say hi. Get all your CBD needs, baby. VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. Call Jose and all the great people out there. They will also cater to you this way, curbside service. You can call them 954-613-3367. All of your CBD needs, stress, anxiety, pain, you name it. VSSWestPines.com.
Market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
We're ready to rock and roll. If you want to get in, you can always reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, let's see. Okay, gotta just send the text here. Okay, there we go. RVA in Richmond says, as a Dolphins fan, we understand how important quarterbacks to a team. Pay the man. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one of those, you can't complain about it. It doesn't make any sense. What are you going to do? Let the guy walk? You know what I mean? You can't do that. And you're not going to say, well, we'll trade. They traded up for this guy. Can you imagine what happens to your fan base if you trade them away? They'll lose their freaking minds. You know how hard it is? They haven't had a quarterback since Len Dawson. I mean, seriously, what are we talking about in Kansas City? Elvis Gerback? There's nothing. What, Trent Green had a little bit of time there, did all right, whatever.
You didn't like Steve DeBerg?
They haven't had a great quarterback since Len Dawson. Those are the AFL years, dude. You know what I mean? That's crazy. And that's why you just don't trade those guys. So there is no complaining anywhere about paying the guy. If it was Tua, pay the man his money. Screw it, dude. He brought us a title. You know, I got no problem with that. And that's kind of what they have to do now. You know, they've got to build that young team around him and get to that point, and hopefully he's the guy to lead them over the top. Diaz says, Big O, that stadium is beautiful, isn't it? And this stadium is amazing, bro. It is awesome. It makes me think that whenever we do get to Miami Freedom Park, it's going to be a palace compared to this. And what they did, and the fact that they built this in 8 months, that's the other thing that's just absolutely amazing. Let me go through a little chat board here because we haven't done any roll call today. Omar Lopez The second we signed on, Omar was like right there, dude. I mean, like he signed on the second the YouTube popped in. Studley move by you. Josh is in the house. DFS Hobby. Julius 305. Mike Jamrozik says, top of the morning, fellow Fins fans. Gio Million. Ian from Brooklyn, man of 1,005 holds. Troy Ortiz. Tremolio is in. Mike No-Go Zones. The one show that I'm absolutely dying to watch, the reruns, is That Metal Show. What a shame that one platform is showing, that not one platform is showing. I'm with you, man. Maybe they haven't been able to buy the rights. Maybe VH1 Classic is not selling them or something. There's got to be some technicality to it. But I'm with you. That Metal Show should be somewhere, okay? I love That Metal Show. And you talk, and anytime you run into the guys, they miss doing that show too. Because I've talked to two of the three guys, okay? And they, doesn't matter, Trunk or Jameson, they freaking love doing that show. So it bothers them as much as us. And there must be some legal technicality where they're kind of screwed. But it's a shame, man. Alexa's in the house. Hello, Alexa. Let's see. Man of 1,005 holes says, hey, Pat, let me borrow $100. Okay. There we go. Mark McIntyre, simply put, QB gets it all the money. That's right. Kansas City will need to keep bringing in young talent via the draft or get the most out of the small name free agents. That's right. That is correct, sir. Let's see. Matthew Walker. Finn Strong 1. Let's see. What else do we have? Alan D is in there. Miguel Guerrero is in there. Movie Talk. Antonio's chiming in. Let's see. And we got a little super chat. Ray Grulon with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. What? Super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. Is it Grulon or is it Grullon? Should it be Young? Huh? Is it the Young? Is with the or do I pronounce the two L's? You gotta correct me on that, Ray. Help me out on that. But thank you, sir, for the super chat on that. Let's see. Oh, don't forget endorsement deal. Mahomes is set. Hopefully he plays out his contract. Oh, yeah, Mahomes is going to get a ton, Josh. A ton, brother. If KC doesn't win another Super Bowl under Mahomes, but he puts up Hall of Fame numbers and they're a perennial 10-6, 11-5 team, that franchise will be selling jerseys and seats. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, man, look, there's no discussion here. If there's any of you crazy-ass nutbags out there that are thinking, oh, no, I'm not paying Mahomes that, you're crazy, okay? You have no choice. You have to pay it. Those people will bum rush the stadium and burn it down if they don't pay Mahomes and they let him go. Are you kidding me? It's the quarterback. And he's a likable quarterback on top of that. Miguel Guerrero says, I'd turn Trubisky into a punter. He might be good at it. Big O, you're right. Yankees are still selling Ruth DiMaggio and Mantle shirts and jerseys. That's how it is, man. It's they're always going to make money. Dolphins still sell Merino jerseys. You know what I mean? Big O keeping his mic COVID-free. Well, I just hope I can stay COVID-free, my brother. Okay? Every day I pray that I can stay COVID-free. Gus 1388 is in. Super Boom Shack. Jim Florentine has a funny podcast. Yes, he does. Yeah, Florentine's good. Draco is in. Many in the house, and we thank you all for tuning in, as you always do here on the program and reaching out to us in many different ways. Did you guys see the Las Vegas Raiders made a offer to Jadeveon Clowney? And you know, the thing I'd like to know is, what is Jadeveon Clowney waiting for? Now, training camps aren't really going on. They're about to. They're going to try at least. So I get that. But you would have at least already been with your team virtually in the meetings, and you're a veteran. So it's not like you really need to play it, but at least mentally you can see the plays and you kind of know. And, a veteran player like that, it's going to be an easier adjustment for them. It's more about conditioning and getting, in the right football shape. That's kind of more of the journey for a guy like Jadeveon. And now, apparently, according to this report, there are 2 to 3 other teams that may have better offers on the table than the Raiders. But Gruden is feeling good about maybe attracting him there to Las Vegas. And I don't know what's going on through this young man's mind. And I guess he's frustrated because he has a perception of who he thinks he is, and then there's the reality. And that the problem is that those two are colliding. And because they're colliding, that's why you have what you have right now, and you have a guy that is trying to get money that he thinks he deserves, and he's trying to say that he's this kind of player when he isn't. And that's where this whole challenge comes from. And let me tell you, I think he's pretty fortunate. I say that because at this point in the offseason, to have 3 to 4 teams that are interested in you, and they're they're offering decent money. They're not offering like, hey, well, we got $2 million left over. That's all we got. We can add some incentives. They're not offering a Jameis Winston type, Cam Newton type deal that those guys had to settle for rock bottom deals. That's not what's going on. These deals are $15 million plus. And this late in the offseason, for those teams outside of the Raiders and any of the other teams that have deals on the table, for them to have that kind of cap space, it's kind of a miracle. And maybe that's why he knows that he can wait a little longer. Maybe he doesn't want to risk anything. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I have a hard time trying to figure out what is Jadeveon Clowney's angle. He didn't have a great sack year last year. He's got an injury history with that knee. People are almost expecting the bottom to fall off with that knee eventually in the very near future. So that's why people aren't lined up to give him all these kind of guarantees. They'll give you a decent salary, but they're not going to give you $50, $60 million up front. And if that's what he's waiting for, he's going to wait a long time. But I saw that story and it was like, okay, well, figures the Raiders would go for something like this. I still think this is going to be a disaster with the Raiders. I really do, man. I really do. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Let's see. NorCal says, in my opinion, Mahomes just made it tougher for the Chiefs to become a dynasty like New England was, but taking lip-sided deals. Kansas City made a great business deal, but it was a great football. Was it a great football move? Risky. They have no choice. Again, what are you going to do? You can't trade him, bro. You can't. Your fan base will lose their minds. So you had no choice. But you're right. Now they are in a very difficult position. Maybe not yet because the full contract hasn't kicked in for a couple of years. So they've got maybe a window now of another year. But eventually, yeah, it starts to get out of control. Yeah. That's again, you have no choice. You got to pay him. I mean, can you imagine the craziness of, no, we'll trade him now. We'll go draft another young guy and we'll develop him. That's risky, man. You may go again another 50 years till you see another quarterback. And it's like somebody sent in earlier. Okay, so you don't win a title, but you win 10, 11 games every year and you're going to the playoffs every year. They'll be really happy because he would have developed a Hall of Fame career. They would have had his championship. And look, there's no guarantee in dynasties. We all know that. It's not like Russell Wilson doesn't have a dynasty going on, and we thought the Legion of Boom and all that was going to end up happening, and it didn't end up happening. And the Ravens got their one title, and they could not build on it. And with Ray Lewis earlier in the century, they got that one title also, and they never won another title with that team. Now, they didn't have a great quarterback. And Flacco wasn't a great quarterback, but Flacco was a good quarterback that year. You know, it's this whole thing. The problem is because we have the recent history of watching Brady win so many titles. We think that, well, no, it can be done again. Yeah, it can. Of course, anything's possible. But what are the chances that somebody else is going to build a dynasty in the NFL? It's really hard. Basketball is a whole different ballgame. You get the right 2, 3, 4 players, and yeah, you got yourself a dynasty. You got a shot at it. But that's basketball. Football, you need a lot, man, and more than a quarterback. It's great to have a quarterback, but if you don't have anybody playing defense and rushing the passer on the other end, and you don't have anybody blocking, you're kind of done. You know what I mean?
You have to do a little cheating, too.
That helps also. Nothing wrong with that. The Mahomes excitement factor makes him a 10-year buy if he never wins another Super Bowl but puts up 4,500 yards and 30 TDs per season and 10-6 every season. He fills stadiums. Marino, anyone? There you go. Yeah. And that alone is priceless, too. That'll pay off for itself. If you're filling stadiums every year, you give hope to your fans every year. Because when you have Mahomes, you have hope. When you have Aaron Rodgers, you have hope. And there's only one title. With everything that Aaron Rodgers is and done, one title. And that's because you need more than a quarterback. It's great to have Mahomes. It's great to have Aaron Rodgers. But that's why Marino never won, right? Because he never had the running game, never even had close a defense that he needed. And he put up all kinds of numbers and entertained the crap out of all of us, but unfortunately, we know the end results. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Mark McIntyre says Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley hate Eddie Trunk. Eric Singer runs from Eddie when they cross paths, and he loves Kiss. And what's your point? I don't know. What were you trying to get at? Hey, Mark, do you think in life everybody's going to like you, my brother? Eddie Trunk seems to get along with hundreds of bands and artists. Okay? So, what, Kiss and Paul Stanley? Why? Because they get mad that he was objective about some of the ridiculous prices that they charge for VIP. So he rips Kiss for the VIP prices. And so now Kiss is pissed at him. Who cares, bro? But seriously, what are you gaining from that? When the guy has great relationships with most of rock and roll. They all come on his show. And they all have great relationships with him because they all admire the fact that he actually really cares about the music, his knowledge, all of that. I'm just trying to see, what was the agenda of that? That's what I'm trying to figure out, Mark. I know you're on all the time, but I'm just trying to figure out why would you pick one situation out of hundreds? Because it's not like a bunch of people hate Eddie Trunk in rock and roll. They don't. And the Kiss thing is just because he was critical of them, and he was being objective. And they can't handle it. That's all. Eddie's a good dude. I've met Eddie several times. I've had him on the show a couple times. I've talked to him at concerts. I think Eddie's a pretty good dude, bro. And listen, I see he's got great relationships all throughout rock and roll. To point out what goes on with Kiss, who cares, bro? Finally logged in at work. Gotta love being able to listen to the Big O Show. Whole road testing a car. I wore a mask, bro. I was the guy wearing a mask all alone in a car. LOL.
Would you say Eddie Trunk's like the biggest ambassador for rock, heavy metal?
It's not even close.
Right?
It's not
He's
even
number
close.
one.
Not even close. Not even close. Nobody like that guy in that business, bro. You know? Nobody. And he's likable, too. That's the other thing. They're all likable. All three of the guys are likable, man. I love that show. I thought the metal show was an awesome, awesome show. Really was. All right, let's take a quick break. We got 1 hour down. We got a few more to go. Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines is a proud sponsor. You know they're celebrating their 12th anniversary right now. They've got 0.9% financing up to 72 months on the ILX, the TLX, the RDX, the MDX. And the RDX right now is $299. The MDX is $319. The ILX and TLX, only $199. Only $29.99 do it siding, plus tax tag and registration. Listen, go see Larry Schlossberg and Company. Tell them that Big O sent you. I promise you, they're going to take care of you at the finest Acura dealership on the planet. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with zero down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right, we're back. I love it. I just cranked down the AC. They told me to 54. All right. Ooh, and even more good news, too. All right, I like it.
Forgot my winter jacket, bro.
Well, you won't. It's like what Miguel said, and it was great because I just saw Tim Robbie, which is always good to see Tim. And Tim's a stadium manager here. But anyway, what's it called? But it's what Miguel said. He cranked down the AC, but the sun coming through the window, it won't ever get to that degree because of that heat. So, and that's why we weren't as comfortable because it was in the 70s. So now it should get into the 60s, so it'll feel nice. Yeah, Sean is rooting for the 60s, which is a beautiful thing.
Man, it's 12 o'clock, and where the sun is, and looking to the east stands, they're in the shade. You notice that? That overhang, man. This is impressive.
Well, that's how they do it with soccer, so they can try to keep the fans under the stands as much as possible, because obviously if it rains in an angle, people are going to get somewhat wet. But yeah, that's kind of the idea, is you want to give people at least some kind of a roof. Unless you're the supporters and you're out in the end zone, you are out wide open, baby. But the supporters, they're so psyched. They're standing, they're screaming, they're chanting, and they're really drunk. So it really doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? Because when you're a little inebriated, you're not worried about a couple of droplets. Not COVID droplets. I'm talking about rain droplets, okay? I'm just want to make sure I clear that up. You know what I'm saying? Just got to clear it up on the droplets, because people they think right away COVID now.
Looking at this, I mean, I'm like comparing it to the north side of the stadium at Joe Robbie.
Right.
If you're over there,
yeah,
and it's a 4:00 game, you better bring
you're
some
toast.
suntan look, man. You're going to get cooked.
Yeah. No, you're toast. No doubt about it. Let's see. Eddie Trunk helped put the Winery Dogs together, and that pleases me greatly. 3 great musicians. Thank you, Mr. Trunk. How about that? I you know what? I love the Winery Dogs, man. That is the first 2 albums they came out with, or only 2 albums, right? Because they have 2 albums and a live album, if I'm correct. Those 2 albums are excellent, man. And I'm with you, too, because you are talking about 3 exceptional musicians. It's like an all-star band when you watch the Winery Dogs. Not surprised. Let's see. 786-322-1105. Now, our phone for our radio station will be 888, the soccer radio station I'm talking about. Can't give you the number right now, but it is a 888 number, because we were picking it 2 weeks ago to get that 888 number, so we can have people calling all over el mundo. They'll be calling us, which is always a beautiful thing. I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Did you guys see Tyler Hero? Tyler Hero tweeted out a picture, because he and Katya Elise Henry were on a boat, and they were, making out and stuff like that. And so they tweeted out the pic. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, Katya Elise Henry is talented, to say the least. Okay? I mean, she is as gifted as it gets, especially if you're Latin. If you're Latin, you're going to love the thickness and the curves on Katya Elise. And, she's got some gifts. What can I tell you?
Very healthy girl.
Yes, extremely healthy girl. Okay? That's all I can tell you. And I got to say that is there anybody that's had a better quarantine time than Tyler Hero? I mean, Tyler, after having that, okay, throughout the entire pandemic, I would hope that Tyler Hero is going to come out, on fire. Now, we could have a Matt Kemp Riri situation here, okay? Remember back in the day, Matt Kemp was balling. Then all of a sudden, he started going out with Rihanna, and his stats went downhill. And I don't know if it's because his mind was on Rihanna all the time, or Rihanna let's just say, suck the energy out of him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the one thing that you look at Katya Elise Henry and, you may never want to leave the bedroom. And so I don't know. He may show up underweight. He may show up all weak. I don't know. He may not be able to really stroke it because he's been stroking it too much during his quarantine time. I don't know. Will Katya Elise Henry be his inspiration, or will it be the depression that sets in because he had too much of that ass in the quarantine and now ends up shooting like ass during the quarantine? I don't know. We're going to find. This is going to be interesting. This one's going to be interesting. We're going to see what the Katya Elise Henry effect is on Tyler Hero. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of us that probably wouldn't be able to walk straight for months if we hung out with her in quarantine. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being brutally honest here, okay?
If you listen to Mickey, he says dames weaken the legs.
Yeah, I'm right. Super Boom Shack says culo alert. Yeah, that's one hell of a culo. Yeah, and it didn't take Tyler Hero long enough to get influenced by the curvy women of South Florida, huh? Ian from Brooklyn goes, God damn. And Man of 1,005, the plot thickens for Tyler Hero. Yeah, thick is right, dude. Nope, he's so mature already. An ass man is the sign of maturity. That's what Alex Toledo says. Alex Diaz says, Tyler Hero winning in a Charlie Sheen voice. King Short says, nice. Steve C says, like what Tony Braxton did to Curtis Martin. Ooh. She still looks good, by the way, Tony Braxton. Mike No-Go Zone says, good for Tyler Hero. You damn right it's good for Tyler Hero. Come on. Man of 1,005 Hold says, Tyler Hero says he's a better basketball player than before. I wonder why. To be fair, Kemp, it is Rihanna. She's a lot more famous. Yeah, well, but famous and fine, it don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? I look at this Katya Elise Henry. She's fine as hell, dude. I mean, you're only going to take Riri over her because it's Riri, because you know that it's the fame. But if you look at the bodies and everything, you're splitting hairs. You know? Are you going to lose with either one? No, I don't think you're going to lose with either one. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, Tyler's got it going on. You got to give him a lot of props. That's a good, as long as she doesn't have COVID, you're good, man. Although there's a lot of guys out there that probably would say, you know what? I'd get a little COVID just for her. You know? I can see some of you out there, go, you know what? I'll take a little COVID to be with that. Am I wrong here? I think some of you out there may end up doing it. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, Steve C says, I wish them the best. Just be good to each other. Yeah, well, we'll see. They're young, my brother. They're young. Alex says, I agree. Katya is more my type. Well, I mean, a type is beautiful and fine. And, she's got all of that, and so does Riri. So I don't think you can lose with either one. I think you would win either way. All right. You know what? Let me give you a couple of news and notes from music, since we always love talking about music. You saw that Kanye West says that he is running for president. Well, Linkin Park's Mike Shinoda has announced that he's running for president too. He says, Sunday, July 5th, the Linkin co-founder tweeted the following: I, too, am running for president. And then he put, I have new music out. So there's a hashtag Shinoda 2020 was the topic of conversation. He goes, hey, I don't know who my running mate is. I don't really have a platform. He told fans with a laugh, can I run as a Republican? I like that. I'm going to run as a Republican. If you're a Republican in this chat, I want you to write me in your ballot. Just write me in. And so Shinoda, very smart, like Kanye. You know, you're about to take on some new music. Why not bring some attention to yourself? Say, hey, I'm running for president. People freak out, and then you say, oh, by the way, I've got new music out, and there you go. And so that's kind of like it's the way of, it's the bait and switch thing that they've got going on in today's world that, plenty of politicians, specifically one, loves to do the bait and switch with folks. So, yeah, there you got that. Also, speaking of Linkin Park, how cool is this? In the End is one of those great songs of theirs, right? Well, it hit 1 billion views on YouTube this past week. It's the second song for Linkin Park to hit 1 billion. Numb is the other one. Hybrid Theory single is one of Linkin Park's most successful songs. In the End, Chester Bennington, by the way, revealed in an old interview, obviously when he was alive, that he didn't particularly like it at first. He goes, I was never a fan of In the End. I didn't want it to be on the record, honestly. How wrong could I have possibly been? I basically decided at that point, I don't know what the F I'm talking about. So I'll leave that to other people who are actually talented at somehow picking songs that people are going to like the most. It also gave me a good lesson as an artist that I don't necessarily have to only make music in my band that I want to listen to. Now I love In the End. I think it's such a great song. I actually see how good of a song it is. It's just hard for me to see it at the time. Pretty cool. So you don't like In the End. You write the song, you don't like the song, and yet it becomes one of your iconic songs when it's all said and done. Now that is a trip. Today, on this date back in 86, David Lee Roth released his first solo album, Eat 'Em and Smile. That's the one with Just a Gigolo. In 1980, Led Zeppelin played their last ever concert on this date. It took place in West Berlin at the conclusion of the European tour, and it ended with a 17-minute version of Whole Lotta Love. Also, back in 2006, on this date, co-founder Roger Sid Barrett died in Cambridge, England, at the age of 60 from complications of diabetes. And in 1984, on this date, Bruce Springsteen started a 4-week run at #1 on the album charts with Born in the USA. There you go. I like that. That is good. That is a beautiful, beautiful record. One more thing also, a couple of things here that I want to talk about. Judas Priest. If you're a music fan of Priest, they will have a full performance from their 2015 tour. It's an installment from the Wacken Festival. It will be streamed Friday, July 17th, so that's next Friday, on knotsfest.com. The website for Slipknot Evolving Knotsfest Music Festival and Tours has been sharing full-length concerts every week since the beginning of the COVID lockdown. This week, they'll feature 2 shows. Judas Priest's performance, set to stream from 2015 at 3 p.m. Eastern on July 17th. This week's other stream will feature progressive groove metalers Ginglers. I've never heard of them. I'm not even going to continue. Anyway, so you got the Priest one next Friday. If you want to catch Priest, you'll be able to do that. Also, Scorpion and Motorhead drummer Mickey D had COVID-19. He revealed he lost 15 pounds during a month-long battle with the coronavirus. He plays with the Scorpions now. He says, I just want to set some rumors straight regarding Don Dawkins' statement about my corona situation. I did get corona and was sick for about a month. I'm fully recovered now since mid-April. I'm already playing hockey and drums by the end of April. Unfortunately, my good friend Don had some wrong info. I did get corona I did not get corona in Australia. The virus was contracted in Sweden. I did not lose 35 pounds. I lost 15. But as I just mentioned, I'm fully recovered now, registered antibodies. So that feels great. I can't wait for things to get back to normal so we can hit the road again. Thank you for caring, guys. My heart goes out to each and every person affected by the current situation our world is in. So nice job by Mickey D, caring about others, which is really cool. And it's great to know that he recovered because he's not a young guy anymore. So that's really cool. Speaking of concerts, metal bands now throughout Europe have begun playing socially distanced concerts for small audiences, bringing the continent another step forward in the fight against COVID. Destruction performed 2 shows in Switzerland over the weekend, while Arcturus played for a seated crowd in Norway. My point is, on this, Europe has got their crap together. They have flattened the curve. I mean, our graph is going like this. Their graph is down on the floor. So they've got a chance of starting to get back to somewhat normalcy. And this is my message. Folks, don't be stupid anymore. Wear the damn mask. Let's not spread this crap. Let's try to all stay healthy so we can all get back to normal, get back out on the street, get back to going to bars and clubs and beaches and having fun and concerts and movies and plays and restaurants and all that stuff that we love to enjoy. But we're never going to get there if you're going to keep going out there and piling it on top of each other. And if you're going to be ignorant and fight everybody and say, oh, it's my rights that I'm losing by wearing a mask, and give me a break, dude. Just gets ridiculous. It really does. So please, wear a damn mask, okay? That's all. Just wear a mask. There's nothing wrong with that. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always, because as you know, that is a 24-hour talk show there. Ronnie Lott. Now, we kind of get out of control sometimes with our predictions. You know what I'm saying? And you look at Ronnie Lott, and he is a former San Francisco 49er, a 49er great, of course. And Kyle Shanahan has been a pretty good coach overall, right? He's done a nice job. But Ronnie Lott needs to kind of slow down a little bit with comparisons. But this happens in our society. When Michael retires, we're dying to find the next Michael, and we label all kinds of guys, and nobody's Michael. And when LeBron retires, we're going to try to look for the next cyborg freak like him. And I don't know if it happens right away. It might take another 20, 40, 50 years to see another LeBron James. So the Niners had a dynasty back in the day. And the man that led it was Bill Walsh, right? So Ronnie Lott, the Hall of Famer, went and compared Kyle Shanahan to Bill Walsh, one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. He goes, to me, they're there, Lott said on a Sirius XM NFL interview. They're there on the offense, and the reason I think they're there on the offense is that I've said that Kyle is our version of Bill Walsh. I think he's one of the most innovative guys in pro football when it comes to offense. First of all, the guy in Kansas City is probably the most innovative guy and has developed coaches left and right. Kyle Shanahan has done a nice job, but when you have a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl and you choose to keep passing, there's no genius there. You know? And you didn't get it done, and I know that your quarterback had an opportunity to hit a deep ball, and he missed a guy, and it kills you right there, but can Kyle Shanahan start winning a Super Bowl or two before we even put him anywhere near the area code of Bill Walsh? Just anywhere near it. Okay? Because he's never going to be Bill Walsh. I don't care what Ronnie Lott says. And sometimes I've noticed this too about former players, and it happens to them. They can't be objective about their former team sometimes. They become homers and they say silly things that fans say. I've just watched. I've watched it locally here. I've worked with some athletes that they just, they get caught up in the moment and they become Joe fan. And you kind of look at them and you're like, because I've done it actually like behind the scenes, like, well, I think I've done it even on the air too. Like, didn't you play? Like, how do you say stupid things like that? I get it if I say it or you say it. Media members and fans, okay, we're entitled to say stupid things. We're not supposed to be as smart as those guys. But a player? Come on, man. You're going to insult Bill Walsh? I mean, Kyle Shanahan's done a nice job. He's a good coach. But Bill Walsh was going to run the ball on your ass with a 25-point lead. He would have killed you with Roger Craig, bro. And you would have won that game. So I can't put you in the same stratosphere. Forget block, area code, city, state, country. I can't put you in the same stratosphere as Bill Walsh. When I'm talking Bill Walsh, I'm talking Vince Lombardi. And I'm talking Don Shula. And I'm talking Bill Belichick. And I'm talking about, we're talking about the gods of the sport when it comes to coaching. Bill Walsh is top 3 probably. It's probably him, Bill, and I guess Lombardi. I don't know. It's probably right up there. I don't know. You tell me. For argument's sake, and we're going to put Kyle Shanahan in the same sentence as Bill Walsh. I know weed is legal in California. I had no idea that Ronnie Lott was smoking a ton of it. What happened? Did Nate Newton stop by in a van and drop off a 100-pound bale? What's he smoking? A Cheech and Chong Led Zeppelin? Wow. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Let's go to the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Always a great way to get your questions in. Ron from Michigan says, listening. Hi, gentlemen. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for providing a great show every day. Very nice of you. Let's see. What else do we have here? Not a big deal, but FYI, the wrong date is on Monday's show on SoundCloud has the 5th instead of the 6th. There you go, Bill. Do your homework. Check your work. RVA Richmond, trust me, Big O. If he wins, they will find a way to build around him. He will adjust his salary. And no, there's no salary to adjust. They're not going to do that. The salary's set already. And there's no adjustment. The only thing you ever do is guarantee more and then delay more of the back end. And it becomes a bigger back end. It's not, there's, put it this, in other words, you're not going to give any cap space back. You're not giving any money back. So that's not realistic, RVA. Not going to happen at all. I'm telling you. They won't do it. And if you delay the money, it just creates even bigger. I mean, look at the Dolphins. We went through all that dead money the last 2 years. That's why Chris Greer took the monster hit he did last year because he just wanted to wipe it all out and get rid of it and move on, because if not, you'll never get out of it. The president of Brazil now has COVID. He was another one that refused. Yeah, the president of Brazil is a moron, just like the governor of Texas. And now he's backtracked. So, because unfortunately, the Republican governors are following the president's lead. Because the president, obviously, you know what's amazing to me about this is, yes, what was it? A couple of days ago, he goes, oh, we're going to have a vaccine well before the year ends. Nobody lies and nobody puts out more misinformation than in the history of politics than Trump. And yet, people just overlook it. Some don't. Some, call it out because he says it all the time. Like he said ratings were down in NASCAR because of the Confederate flag and the whole thing. Do you know that ratings are up in NASCAR? I don't know if you know that. I know the president doesn't know that because he has no good information. All he does is say everything wrong, right? NASCAR Brickyard 400 viewership on NBC up 46% versus 2019. The NASCAR Cup Series racing from Indiana averages a total audience of 4.3 million viewers on NBC, most watched Brickyard since 2017. Across the board gains at least at 40%. It's amazing to me. Every time this guy opens his mouth and says something, it's completely off. Wow. It really is amazing. So, when you have leadership like that, you got our clown governor following him. You got the clown from Texas and the clown from Arizona, which are the three worst states in this COVID run now. Those three states. It's just, what are you going to do, bro? It's just amazing to me. Well, I've never seen a guy, every press conference, he says all kinds of outlandish things that are completely wrong. Totally wrong. And yet, really is amazing. So when you see the president of Brazil, the prime minister in England, he got COVID too, and he was clowning around also. It's not just Trump, it's several idiots around the world that and in our country. They didn't take this serious, and then it bites you in the ass. That's all. Look at Brazil, like you just mentioned. Brazil didn't take it serious. And they are now, the worst country at the moment on their pace. We are the worst overall in totality. But Brazil is closing the gap because their death rate is crazy. Our death rate has gone down some now, but our hospitalizations and everything have skyrocketed. Then now we're causing is eventually. What comes after this is death, unfortunately. Because all the young people that are getting sick now, they are going to spread it to the people like us that can die. It's crazy, man. We're screwed up, man. And it's not just us. Several countries have terrible leadership, and that's why they're in trouble. It happens. If Mahomes banks all his football money next 10 years and lives on endorsements, he could buy almost any one of the NFL teams. Yeah. 10 years from now, these teams are worth $2 billion. 10 years from now, they might be worth $3 and $4 billion. I don't know. I'm not sure. He's making $503 million. Remember NorCal, he makes $503 million in 10 years. Let's just say he makes all $503 million. You ready? You're with me here? Government's going to take 40% of it. So now he's down to, what is it, like $300 million? 275, something like that, 285. Okay, so then you also got to give your 3% to your agent. And then you got some expenses too, I'm sure. But really, when you think about it, he won't even come close by himself to have the money for any kind of a football team. Because we keep forgetting that the government at that tax bracket takes away 40%. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, Mayweather made $150 million in the fight. Well, no, he didn't. He has to pay his trainers, he has to pay all his boxing people, and he has to pay the government. Not that he pays the government, but what I'm just saying, if you're normal people that pay the government, you got to give up 40%. So it's really not $150 million. It's still a lot more money than you and I will ever make. But I just want to remind you that every time you see these giant contracts, 40% of it is going to the government. Okay, it's still a giant contract, but it's not as big as you make it out to be. That's the thing. We kind of overlook that conveniently. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. My boys at Toyota of Hollywood, they've been getting it done for a long time, man, over 400,000 square feet. I got my Camry downstairs, man. I love my Camry. Drive it every single day. Go see Gary Thompson, Herbie Lopez, Steve Ostrov, Asric Smith, Joel Rubio, Lori Rodriguez. So many great people out there. They will take care of you at 1841 North State Road 7. Tell them that Big O sent you, man. I would never tell you to go buy or lease a vehicle where I wouldn't do it myself at Toyota of Hollywood.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's
Are you tired of watching the
safest
same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021 at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Welcome back. We love you. Thank you for tuning in as always, keeping it locked here on the program, downloading it anytime you download it throughout the day, night, middle of the night, wherever you're at in the world, which we love you for. And it's crazy stuff, man. Let me see. Just today, let's see, downloads today, okay, just to kind of give you the rundown, okay? Are you ready? United States, of course, Canada, United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Germany, Bahamas, France, Norway, Mexico, Egypt, Brazil, Romania, Ukraine, Saudi Arabia. Those are some of the countries that are already downloading today. Huh? How about that? It's crazy. Fort Lauderdale is number one right now in the downloads. They are ahead of Miami, which that never happens. Like Miami is in 5th place right now. Sylmar, United States, Sylmar. I don't know where the hell that is in the United States. Quebec, Canada is number 3. Hollywood, Florida is number 4. Miami is number 5. How about that? Some crazy stuff. Pompano 6, Manhasset, New York. What? It's in California? Okay. There you go. Waterbury, Naperville, Woodbridge, Canada. It's so thank you to all out there wherever you're listening to us, wherever you're downloading. We appreciate it immensely. We really do, man. Thank you so much. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. We got some stuff coming up, UFC this weekend, as we finally got our match with Kamaru and Masvidal taking the match in short notice. And first of all, let's talk a little bit. You remember that when Masvidal won the BMF title, right? The Bad Mother, title. So Dana White was asked about that in this fight, right? Will the BMF title, will it be on the line? Go ahead, Bill.
It is not. It's not on the line. Usman wants it to be on the line so bad, he will not stop texting me saying, I don't understand why this belt isn't on the line. This guy's running around saying he's the BMF champ. He's like, I want to squash it all. He's not going to win my title, and I'm going to take his BMF belt. Believe me, Usman has not stopped terrorizing me about this.
All right, and listen, it cost him, I think, $50,000 to make that belt, if I'm correct. And that belt is not on the line, which, that's the belt that Holly Berry was talking about when she was, that whole promo that they ran where you can actually have dinner with Halle Berry, watch the fight with Halle Berry, because Halle has, for those of you that don't know, she's an enormous UFC fan. Okay, she goes to the fights a lot, all that stuff, which, makes me really want to cover UFC and go to those fights. When it's all said and done and COVID's done, I don't know, I just would like to go hang out in those fights and hang out with Hallie a little bit and just say hi, Hallie. How you doing? That's all.
She actually dropped an F-bomb during that, right?
Yes.
Didn't they have a contest to go to dinner with her?
Yes.
How many times did you enter?
I entered at least 46 times. I
tried. Any response?
None.
Did you? No.
None. Lost. Unfortunately. So for those of you, this is going to go on Fight Island in Abu Dhabi, right? And the question is this thing all hype? Is it just to get through COVID? What is the plan for Fight Island? Here's Dana White.
I've been doing media all day today. There seems to be this thought with the media and the fans, I guess, that we're going to do 4 fights on Fight Island and that's it. Fight Island is here to stay. I mean, I can see us, not only finishing the year on Fight Island, but going into next year with Fight Island, the way that this thing is going. When I go over there on this trip, I'm looking at houses over there. I'm either going to buy a house or a condo or something over there. We're going to be there for a while.
So obviously they got a great setup over there, and it looks like it's made for what they want to do. So it makes a lot of – and listen, if they're going to roll out the red carpet and give you all kinds of tax breaks and everything else that goes with it, And listen, when he says he's going to look for a house or a condo there, do you not think there's a hookup somewhere there that's going to help him get that at a discounted rate? Yeah. And it's going to be a pretty cool pad, too, whatever it is. Because, I mean, it's Dana White. What else is he going to do? You know what I mean? And if he is going to get a home there or a hangout place there, then you can tell how serious they are about it. It does. Listen, Dana White is a maniac. The fact that he's been able to kind of get through all of this, it shows obviously his determination. There's no doubt that's why he is where he's at. But you got to give him credit. He has found a way to pretty much make it work. And UFC fans are so loyal that even some of these cards that lose some of their top guys in top matches, they're still surviving and they're still able to get other fighters. And yet it's still being accepted also by the general UFC fan. I mean, Dana White's pretty blessed in that sense. When the connection they've been able to build with fans all over the world, it's crazy, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And they're one of the sports. Listen, selfishly, we have to thank them for being a maniac, right? Because it's entertainment for us. You know, it's great. Tomorrow we finally get team sports back with Inter Miami, and I cannot wait for 8 o'clock, really 7:30, because we'll start our pregame coverage. But really, I can't wait for that game to start at 8 o'clock because I know here at the stadium, we're watching it. We're all going to be glued to the tube and all of that. The only thing is, Sean, I was thinking, are we going to get some crap driving home, dude? We're past curfew.
No.
But we're working.
No.
We're legitimate working. So
press.
I don't think they'll do anything to us because we're working. You know what I mean? We kind of like, hey.
Yes. Press media is exempt, and
but we're working.
First responders and whatnot, they're all but
curfew
doesn't apply.
No, but you're talking about important people. Forget about first responders. We're schmucks. I'm just saying.
The media was included as part of that group.
I just want to tell the police officers out there in South Florida, okay, Thomas Rongan, Chris Whittingham, okay, Sean Stanley, and Orlando Alzigari, and Alex Dono, we're just working, okay? We're just working stiffs on our way home after a big win by Inter Miami over Orlando, because, we'll be talking about that on Thursday. Can't wait to talk about that win. That's all. We're just, we got a big old smile on our faces. So please, police officers, understand, don't pull us over. We've had a great night. It's a big win by Inter Miami. Let us go home, okay? Just, please.
Which jersey you busting out tomorrow?
I don't know yet. I've got a couple jerseys, T-shirt. I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm going to bust out a jersey or a T-shirt. I don't know if I should bust out the jerseys while I'm stuck in a studio. You know what I'm saying? If it was game day and the place was packed and all that, because I did get a Beckham jersey, by the way. I have a couple jerseys. One of them is a Beckham. I had to get a Beckham. It was so cool to get a Beckham jersey, man. I had to get one, So, yeah, I've got a couple jerseys. I've got the a couple of the black jerseys, and I can't wait. But I have several T-shirts, so I don't know yet. I may wear a T-shirt. For sure, I'll have one on tomorrow. I'll have an Inter Miami T-shirt for sure on the show tomorrow. Will Inter Miami be broadcast on TV? Yes, on CBS. You will be able to watch it. Our local affiliate is CBS. So, yes, you will be able to watch our games here locally, but we want you listening too. So go to the Inter Miami app. Download the app already. Get ready for tomorrow, man, so you can listen to our broadcast, listen to our post game, okay? Even if you watch the show, okay, you got to tune into our post game show. So we break it all down. Andres Cordero, Alex Dono, myself, we will all break down that win. So tomorrow night, all right, tune in, and wait till you see what we've got coming next month. Oh, Lordy, it's going to be so good. It's going to be a lot of fun. Man, we're going to have a lot of fun. We really are. It's going to be a lot of fun what we're going to do, and it's going to be groundbreaking stuff. And I think a lot of people are going to be happy with it all. It's going to be good. Airman 241 says, Thomas Rongen still around South Florida soccer. This is a name I have not heard since the Strikers days. My brother, he's on all the time. He's calling Real Madrid and Barcelona, and he's on calling European soccer on television all the time. It's just you don't watch soccer, but it's not like we resurrected him and he was dead and we said, hey, Thomas, let's come out of hiding. You haven't done anything. In fact, Thomas Rongen was on this weekend and had the most glorious jacket in the world. Okay? All right? I gotta show this to you. This is classic. I'm not gonna play the could I play the video? I could. I could play the audio, but anyway, I got to play it close for you, but okay, let me do it again here, and boom. Look at that jacket. That jacket is glorious. And by the way, Kaylin is our side, she works our sidelines, and that's Andres Cordero. 3 of the 4 people that were on this weekend doing the Barcelona game are Inter Miami employees. So how about that, baby? We got Ray Hudson on TV. We got Fernando Fiori. We got an all-star lineup of people, bro. I mean, seriously. It's just amazing. The color alone from Hudson, Fiori, and Rongen is too much. There's not enough color in a Crayola box. Okay? You know the 64 they used to get? And then they got really piggish. Didn't they have like 120 after that? That falls short of Hudson, Fiori, and Rongen. There's more color there than anything else you can find on the planet. In fact, the greatest painters in the world would love to use those 3 guys as color because there's just colors they've never seen on the spectrum there. That's why you got to tune in, watch, listen to Inter Miami football. Airman says, I was a supporter of the Carolina Railhawks of the NASL. I got away from the game with the demise of the NASL. Well, now you need to get back to the game and follow your Inter Miami football club. Okay? Alex can't wait. It's a beautiful thing. I love it. Hallie's crazy, Big O. She's married like 4 times. Okay, question is, Troy Ortiz, are you going to deny a date with Halle Berry? That's all I ask. That's it. Will you deny a date with Halle Berry? I would imagine not. Just, I got to throw it out there. I would just say
you don't have a problem because you're not one of the 4, right? Previous husbands?
Right. That's right. And as long as she's not currently married at the moment, it's
there's you could dream, a big dream.
Dream. All right, keeping on with the theme of MMA, and we've got a huge fight with Masvidal and Usman coming up on Saturday. Can't wait for it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is great because think about it. We get Inter tomorrow, right? Then Saturday we get Usman and Masvidal, and Sunday we have Inter again. Isn't it Sunday? No, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. So Saturday and then Tuesday, we get that right away. So we've got 2 soccer games coming in the next 7 days, and we've got a UFC match that's enormous. That's awesome, man. We're getting a little slices of normalcy. Not complete normalcy, because obviously we'd rather have them here on the pitch and the place packed. I mean, I'd give anything to see the Siege and Vice City and all those ladies and gentlemen out there packing the stands on the north end and just feeling that passion from them. Can't wait, dude. Can't wait to hear the drums and see the smoke and everything else that goes on with those crazy bastards in the end zone. And I say that in a completely endearing way. I love it. I love that they're crazy and that they can sing for 2 hours straight. Drink and sing, right? Because there's got to be a little drinking in there with the singing, right? I mean, It's all good. Anyway, so Usman has got this rivalry now that's developed with Masvidal. And Usman got into it a little bit. They were asking him about where did this rivalry heat up? And here's Usman.
The negotiations were on his part. I was ready and willing. I just need to fight somebody. So they had to negotiate with him and come up with a price for him to take this ass whooping. So, that's what they had to do. The bad blood, I don't know. Honestly, I think it was just him and his team decided that this was what they were going to do to put themselves in this position. Like, I never really had that. Like, every time he was always respectful to me. Every time I saw him previously to this, he was very respectful to me. Like, when I was on the Ultimate Fighter season 21, the finale, when I was doing all those shows, the post shows, one of the episodes, he came with me. He was one of the guests with me. And at that point, he was just, Journeyman George, and he was sitting next to me on the couch while I was the one there because that was my season of Tough. He was just a guest as just a guy that trains at American Top Team. And it was fine. We were fine. It was cool. We talked a little bit. It wasn't nothing of this nature. And over the years, him and his team decided that this was the persona, this was the character that we were going to run with. And they've done a tremendous job at that. I will give them props for that. But at the end of the day, when we step inside that octagon, it's not about playing the character. It's about going out there and competing and being the best in the world. And right now, no one is better than me.
It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? I mean, it's just the rivalry. It's almost like I don't know how personal it really is. Actually, you know what I mean? Because you hear from Usman, like they had kind of a not a friendship, but it was a level of respect, right? And I guess sometimes in order to battle against somebody, sometimes you need a little bit of an edge and something to push you over. And maybe that's what Masvidal is doing. And Usman to start, when he starts that comment, like, they signed up for this ass kicking that they're going to get. These are both bad men. I mean, this is going to be a bloody war. And to watch Masvidal take this on short notice. And remember, Justin Gaethje just did the same thing and ended up winning. And although he took it with short notice, then it got delayed and it bought him a little extra time, which that's not the case here with this one. Okay, there is a little bit of a difference. But if Masvidal's legend is to grow even more, this is it right here. This is one of those moments like, okay, not only did I take a fight in short notice, I didn't just take any damn fight, okay? I took a fight with Kamaru Usman. That when you're taking that guy on and you're saying, okay, I could take on Usman in a week without, and I don't know how much he was training. He's got to be in great shape right now. There's no way he's taking this fight if he was actually hanging out and doing what I've been doing for the last couple of months, is eating everything in sight. There's no way that he's doing that, okay? So there has to be an incredible level of confidence in his conditioning, not his fighting, because that guy's never going to lose the edge in fighting. If anybody's watched Masvidal, he's a maniac. In a good way again, okay? Kind of like our supporters. In a good way, I mean. So just to watch I think what we'll see on Saturday is we'll see how deep the hate really is, okay? And then we're also going to see what kind of a great fight this is going to be, because that's the other thing. While they're building it up with the talk, it's, okay, if Masvidal bit off more than he can chew and he's not really ready physically, then that's going to take a toll in this fight, and it won't be as good. But if Masvidal comes in ready, and Usman is ready, this is going to be one entertaining war. And we're in for a hell of a ride here. The other thing that came out of the UFC and Dana White, I don't know how many of you see, what is it, Last Night Tonight with John Oliver or whatever the show, I forgot how it's called, how it's phrased, but I watch it all the time. What's it called?
Last Week Tonight.
That's it. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. And it's a great show. Okay, it's funny as hell. He's done a great job over the years with it. So Oliver, when he got a hold of Dana White building this whole Fight Island thing, John Oliver let him have it. So let's hear it.
He was making fun of Fight Island and said basically
No, let's hear from John Oliver. Let's hear from John Oliver. Where's John Oliver? Way to be prepared. Nice job, bro. Nice job. All right. Anyway, John Oliver rips into Dana White about, he's crazy building Fight Island and COVID and all this crap. And so he rips into Dana White, right? So Dana and he said they should call it UFC and spelled out not C as in the letter, but SEA. Okay? That's what he said, that Dana White is crazy enough that he should do all of that. So here's Dana White's response. At least you have the Dana White response. Play the Dana White response. Forget about the John Oliver already. Go ahead. Dana White.
He was making fun of Fight Island and said basically saying this idiot is going to build an island where people can fight during COVID-19 and all this stuff. I'm actually a John Oliver fan, so I went out and I trademarked. He said you should have just called it UFC. Right. So I trademarked UFC. Then he went out and bought a trademark of ours that had lapsed, and he's actually doing baby onesies that say "You will submit" or something like that.
Amazing.
But my T-shirts are done. I have these are going to go up for sale on the UFC website. They're going up this week, and all proceeds to these T-shirts will actually go to. I did some research, and John Oliver, one of his big charities is the Bob Woodruff Foundation, and the Woodruff Family Foundation mission is to ensure injured post 9/11 service members, veterans, and their families are thriving long after they return home. So that's one of his big charities. So all the money from the UFC shirts are going to go to one of John Oliver's charities.
That is awesome. See, that's a classy move. And that's Dana White capitalizing on that. It's a shot from John Oliver having some fun that the maniac, because, I mean, let's be honest, Dana White's a maniac. But then again, look what the maniac has accomplished. It's not like he's killing anybody. You know what I'm saying? He's just doing his business. They fight, they entertain, and they keep doing it during this pandemic. One of the few things that is actually kind of normal in this whole thing for us sports fans. You know what I mean? So you got to love the fact. And then for him to turn it around and then obviously the proceeds go to a good cause, that's taking advantage of the moment and turning it around and making it a positive. I think that's just genius. There's a reason why Dana White is so freaking successful. Okay? I mean, the guy just, he has gotten a niche into what he's doing, and it's impressive, and he has made one hell of a living, and he obviously sold the business for a lot of money, and he's been able to continue to run it, and the guy finds ways around all of this so far. And to do it in the middle of a pandemic, that's as impressive a job from a CEO as you can get, okay? And they've had their positive test because it's everywhere, this damn COVID thing. We're all trying to do our best to avoid it. Awesome job by him. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back on the other side. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. Back with more right here on The Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
It's a buyer's market at Toyota of Hollywood. Over 1,500 Toyotas on the ground, and truckloads just keep on coming. Now pay up to 50% less. 2020 Camry, not $29,000, $17,775. 2020 Corolla, not $22,000, $13,775. Buy a new 2020 Toyota with 0 down and 0% financing, or we'll make your payments till 2021. At Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, we're back. We take you, of course, till I have no idea. I don't know. We'll go as far as we can here. on the program. I'm seeing some stuff here from some of you from the Miami Herald. Is this true? That they're going to keep gyms. Mayor has reversed course, will allow gyms to stay open as COVID-19 cases rise. Tell you, brother. Wow.
Did an envelope show up to the mayor's office?
I don't know, bro. I'm just, and some of these people have him on, and all they do is kiss his ass, and they don't ask him any tough questions whatsoever. So all they do is lob softballs to him.
Was he not at one of the
bro.
restaurants like back a few weeks ago, right?
No, that was the city mayor.
The city mayor.
The city mayor. This is the county mayor.
Right.
Jimenez. So it's different. But either way, it's just, wow. You're going to allow gyms to stay open while COVID-19 is all over the place. A gym. Wow. Man, I guess they're just fine with people getting sick and dying and all of that, man. Anyway. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. We told you about tomorrow, Inter Miami takes the pitch as they take on Orlando City to open up the tournament, right? The team in Dallas, remember, there are 3 states that have been complete morons in all of this. We're one in Florida, the other one is Texas, and the other one's Arizona. So one of the teams in one of those 3 states, FC Dallas, is completely out of the tournament. They had 10 players test positive and a coach. I mean, that's a lot, okay? 10 players and a coach test positive, and who knows how much that led to other people getting sick in the process. But now I don't know how the tournament is going to adjust and all that. I'm sure they have to now because obviously one of the groups lost a team. But to get that many players sick, and then your team has to drop out. Now, remember, it's just a tournament. So by the end of the month, they all should be recovered, and they all should be testing negative, and then they could restart with everybody else. But remember, as much as I work, with the MLS and work with Inter, I have to be honest, I am concerned once they leave the bubble. All these teams that are getting in the bubble, if you get them tested and they're clean and they're negative, then you're not going to have any more trouble in the bubble because it's already proven that they're not associating with the employees anyway. So the Disney employees. So it's not an issue. They never meet with them. They never are associating with them. They're completely away from everybody. They're just with themselves. And if everybody's clean, you're good. Nobody's going to get sick. But the second the MLS leaves the bubble, everybody is at their own, at their own vices. And young people, you know how it is. They got to go out. They got to have fun. They think life is over if they don't have any fun. So that's where I worry about the MLS, just like college football, forget about it. But the NFL is the other one that I worry about too. Hockey and basketball, they're going to keep their sports in a bubble. They have a shot at finishing their entire season with no problems. With some issues, but not the major issues. Football, soccer, and baseball are going to struggle without a bubble. And that's where, look at Carlos Vela. He's out for L.A. on the tournament. His wife is pregnant, which is all understandable. Okay? But that hurts LAFC now. And they do have, I forgot the kid's name that they signed, that they gave him a lot of money, and he's kind of underperformed. Now he gets elevated. Now I'm brain farting now. But he will get the opportunity now with LA. And let me tell you, that the Vela thing could end up becoming a positive for them. Because, forgetting the guy's name, but if he comes back and he plays at a high level, Vela's going to be Vela. He's still going to be a stud no matter what. Now you've got an even more dangerous team coming back. So that might end up becoming a positive, actually, for LA. Cookie Vice giving us some love on the super chat. Thank you, my brother.
I know that, dude. Where'd you get this?
Super chats.
Oh, gnarly.
All right, good stuff there. Appreciate it as always.
Got an
a little
idea?
love. He says, thank you, Big O, for being honest and telling people the truth, even if they choose to look the other way. That's it.
The Dallas team could go back to Texas, and the other half can get the COVID.
Right.
Ones that are missing.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's 10 players, dude. That wipes out your team. That's what I'm afraid of with football.
How many are on a roster?
20.
20? That's what I thought. Yeah. So the other half and the coaches that are missing,
but you might be on those 10. You might be missing all your forwards. So it doesn't matter what the other 10 are. Or how about if all your 2 top goaltenders went out? It's
all
like,
your defensemen,
whatever,
in front of your goalie,
and that's going to happen in football. That's going to happen in football because there's going to be an entire room that gets it. The receivers room, the QB room, the offensive line room, the defensive linemen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's crazy. This is scary stuff that we're going through here, all of us, and having to deal with this thing. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also email me at Orlando@Big O Radio Show. So 786-322-1105 on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. On email, Orlando@Big O Radio Show. Of course, on Twitter @Big O Show. Many ways to reach out to the program and give us your opinion on what's going on. The other thing I saw, just to have a little fun, and I don't know if some of you are aware of this, but how many of you out there, men, single, own cats? I'm just wondering. Are anybody right now on the chat board, are you a male, single, and you own a cat? Just want to know. Any of you out there that fall in line with that? Why? Because when women are looking for romance on dating apps and perceive are less likely to swipe if the potential suitor is holding a cat. That's right. Study carried out by scientists at the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences at Colorado State University found that profile photos of men holding cats were seen as less dateable and less masculine by women. Men who held a confident pose and appeared alone in their profile pic were more likely to attract women, the survey found. Straight women ages 18 to 24 living in the U.S. were asked to rate the man posing with or without a cat on his lap. Photos of 2 men, both in their early 20s, were shown to the group. Both prospective dates had darker hair, wore a blue button-down shirt, and were photographed against a white background while posing with and without the same tabby cat. After the pictures were displayed, they rated the men on attributes including perceived personality, masculinity, dateability, and whether they would consider going out with the person for a short or long-term relationship. The study found that women perceived the man holding the cat as less masculine and ultimately less dateable. The women also scored the cat lover higher. It's crazy to think that from you holding a cat, you're going to be neurotic. So you're going to be in neuroticism. Which forms of parts of the 5 big personality traits? Those who rate highly on being neurotic are more likely to experience anxiety and fear, as well as frustration, envy, and low mood. Yet researchers found the addiction of the cat made the man appear more open and agreeable, while he was perceived as more socially confident and outgoing when pictured alone. The women were also asked if they would consider themselves a dog person or cat person. Neither or both, which appeared to influence the choice. Participants who identified as dog lovers, neither or both, favored the picture of the man alone. Yet those who were a cat person opted for the additional feline friend. So if you're a man and you have a cat, women with cats are going to be more accepting of you. Now, we have also a perception as men of women who have cats too. Right? Like a lonely woman, it's weird, disconnected, stuff like that. And it's not one. You got to have multiple cats. All right? You don't get that label with one cat. But if you have multiple cats, I just want to say, I haven't done any research. I'm not a scientist or anything like that. I'm just going to say, if you have multiple cats, no matter what age you are, obviously, if you're an older lady, you're really done. But if you're young and you have multiple cats, that's got to be a red flag. Not one. It's got to be multiple. Am I wrong there? Would you go out with a woman that has multiple cats? I don't know. I don't think I would.
I couldn't. I'm allergic to them.
Well, I know, but still, it's kind of weird that, I kind of think of cat ladies. You know what I'm saying? What else do we have here? Dumb Santa says, we flattened the curve. Sun Sentinel breaking. Florida is reporting a record-breaking positive test, 20.8% for new COVID-19 infections in a single day. He's just a tool for the other guy. That's all. Herman Cueva says, that's just pussy stuff for me. LOL. Yeah, you're right. It's all pussy stuff. Super Boom Shack says, but it confirms the man likes pee. Yeah, you're probably right about that. Some do, at least. EM Dolphin fan, fins up, baby. Okay, that came out of like nowhere. That's why dogs are man's best friend. You're right. I'm a dog guy. I got 4 dogs at home. I got nothing. You know what? I don't have anything against cats. I've had a cat before. I've only had one cat in my past, and it was one that I found. So we kept it for a while, but it ran away, actually. Just like, you can't keep a cat normally in the house. It's hard. They'll dart out or whatever, and this one darted out and never came back. I've never been really a cat guy. That one I had, the one cat we had, it was out of sympathy, and I felt bad for it. And the other day, I told you guys, we had a cat in our house, in our yard. Somebody dropped off a little kitten, and it was hiding in the bushes, and we got it adopted by one of our friends. So that's cool. Now it's got a home, so it's actually awesome. And it was a beautiful cat, by the way. That was the other thing about that cat was beautiful. But I've always been a dog guy. I love dogs, man. I can't get enough of my dogs. I get home, and it is some of the greatest therapy in the world. No matter how long of a day you have, they are always there to pick you up, man. Love dogs. Always been a dog person. Nothing against cats. It's just there's a connection with dogs that I've never had with a cat. And they don't seem very personable. They don't seem very lovable. I guess you've got to get lucky to find one that's really lovable. But they're so independent. You know what I mean? They can just, and I think, I've kind of run into this with some cat owners. They kind of like the fact that they don't have to do a lot for the animal. Like a dog, you got to give it attention. Seriously. Dogs they have such a human quality to them in the way that they can express themselves.
They have personality.
Yeah, no, they have feelings is what I mean. Yeah, they have personality, but they have feelings. You can hurt a dog's feelings, and you can see that you hurt a dog's feelings. Okay? That's how dogs, they are. Cats, you don't know what the hell they're thinking. You know what I mean? And so I think sometimes with cat owners, I'm not saying all, but I think they like to have a pet, but they don't need to pay attention too much to the pet, and that's perfect for a cat. But if you have a dog, the dog's going to come to you, going to want to hang out with you, going to want to be petted, all that stuff. And I pet all 4 of my dogs. Every day I get home, I hang out with each of them, pet them, love them, give them hugs, give them kisses, all of them. but you don't have to do that with a cat. You know? You don't have to pet your cat in an entire month and everything's fine. Cat's just hanging out like, hey, dude, just give me my food and water and shut the hell up and just go away. I'll hang out in that corner over there.
Open the door. I want to go out.
That's it.
You know?
That's it. Here's a present. Kitty litter. Boom. Just for you. You know, that's kind of what you get from a cat. You know what I'm saying?
Did that make sense? Look how clear these skies are.
Yeah, but you're not looking at what's behind the stadium.
To the west is a disaster. To the east, ocean, it's clear blue skies.
It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, so there you go, guys. You own a cat, you're not going to get laid. 786-322-1105. Unless she's just a crazy cat person. Then that's it. Tommy says, and Hialeah says, absolutely correct, oh. They are undercover Karen types. My cat acts exactly like a dog. He's cool as hell, and I don't even like cats. Oh, see? You got that's like 1 in a million. There aren't a lot of cats that act like dogs. Very few, man. If you have one, that's pretty cool. You know? That would be the kind of cat that I would like hanging around my house. I love Stranglehold and Little Miss Dangerous. So you guys are now talking Ted Nugent here? Okay. Pat in Asheville says Jerry Seinfeld has a bit. It goes something like, you think your pet loves you? Open the door.
If I'm guessing, the Ted Nugent talk would be because somebody mentioned cat scratch fever, correct?
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Definitely.
Even being allergic, I did take care of some friends' cats for like 2 months. They were in between places, and I had an extra room that had nothing in it, you know, it was just vacant. Right. And I said, yeah, you know, I'll take Caesar. And actually being allergic, I took care of the cat for 2 months, man.
Nice. All right. Well, there you go. For 2 months, you didn't get laid.
Oh, no, the cat was in the room with the door closed. No, but the cat was cool. He'd scratch on he knew when he wanted to eat. Like, he'd walk with me to the kitchen. I'd grab the food. We'd walk back to the room. I'd wait like an hour or two. He'd scratch. I'd open the door. He'd walk to the front door, open the door. He'd go out.
That's a cool cat.
A couple hours later, he'd scratch. Yeah,
he communicates.
Caesar was like, you know, hey, just facilitate the door opening, bro, and I got this.
Okay. Lisa says, I got lucky, I have a cat who thinks he's a dog named Divot. He's my best buddy in the whole world. 17 years, just me and him, and he has a personality like you could not imagine. LOL. See? But that's rare, Lisa. That's the thing. Those kind of cats, most cats just don't give a crap about you, and they just hang out. They may like you, and they may walk by and rub on your leg a little bit, but then they just disappear. They eat their food, and they just hang out, leave you a present in the cat litter, and they're gone. They're fine. You know what I mean? But a cat like that, Lisa, see, that's where it's cool. That's where it's cool. Now, for those of you that are worried a little bit about coronavirus, I think we all are concerned. All right, there are ways to battle it. I don't know if you guys know this, but a team of Canadian scientists believe they have found strains of cannabis that could help treat coronavirus infections. That's right. Researchers from the University of Lethbridge say a study in April showed that at least 13 cannabis plants were high in CBD that appeared to affect the ACE2 pathways that the bug uses to access the body. We're totally stunned at first. Then we were really happy. Well, of course, the weed set in. You got high. Yeah, at first you were stunned, and then later you were high. You know, that's kind of what happened. I'm sorry. Anyway, the results printed in the online journal indicates hemp extracts high in CBD may help block proteins that provide a gateway for COVID-19. Smoke up, Johnny. Kovachuk's husband, Igor, suggested cannabis could reduce the virus entry points by up to 70%. Therefore, you have more of a chance to fight it. Our workforce have a huge influence. There aren't many drugs that can have the potential of reducing infections by 70 to 80%. While they stressed that more research was needed, the study gave hope that the cannabis is proven to modulate the enzymes and it may prove plausible strategy for decreasing disease susceptibility, as well as becoming useful and safe addition to the treatment of COVID-19 in an adjunct therapy. How about that? Smoke up the herb and you will not get COVID. It's a beautiful thing. You ready? You ready to light up the cannabis to hide the COVID? So that's all you got to do?
You know, if that's the case, man, I don't see why all of America isn't running out to the someplace to cop a bag.
To the, what's that called? The dispensaries.
Dispensaries. Thank you.
That's it. Dispensaries all over the country. That's what you got to do. You got to hit it, man.
They should be putting out big banners, right? We kill COVID or prevent COVID.
Why not? Why not, dude? So there you go. A little weed and you're fine. Did you guys see Pablo Sandoval? Pablo Sandoval looks like he looks like a retired offensive guard. Okay. This weekend, there was a picture of Pablo Sandoval taking grounders. First of all, I got to say this. I'm super impressed with Pablo Sandoval. Do you know why I'm super impressed with Pablo Sandoval? Because if you can still play baseball and you look like that, that's impressive, right? I mean, that's a retired guard. That's not an in-shape NFL guard. That's a retired NFL guard. Okay? Understand that. There's a huge difference. Huge difference. Guards in the NFL are fat, but they look like they're in shape fat, right? Then there's out of shape fat. That you don't want to look like. That's what Pablo Sandoval looks like. Holy moly. Kung Fu Panda. Wow. That guy looks like he hit every buffet in San Francisco.
Kung Fu Expander.
Yeah, well, there we go. Nice job, Kung Fu Expander. Very good. I like that one. Kung Fu Expander. I mean, seriously, dude. That guy
You can see the stitching on his uniform is screaming.
He's stretching stuff. I mean, word has it there were like 4 equipment guys on to try to get his clothes on. You know, because that thing was all stretched out. I mean, seriously. Kung Fu Panda right now, he walks and there's earthquakes. And people in San Francisco would be freaking out, but it's an earthquake. No, it's Pablo Sandoval. He's walking. That's probably what's going on in San Francisco right now in Northern California. Every time he walks, there's a seismic reading on what's going on with Pablo Sandoval. And this is nuts, dude. Think about that.
You would think.
How do you play baseball? How do you bend over for a grounder if you're Pablo Sandoval? I mean, think about this. Pregnant women look skinnier than Pablo Sandoval right now. Pablo Sandoval looks like he's pregnant with quadruplets. And he looks like he's 4 months overdue. I mean, Pablo Sandoval's pregnant for 13 months right now. That's really what's going on. Pablo Sandoval is so big, they have closed down all the buffets in Northern California. Not because of COVID, because of Pablo Sandoval. And this is impressive. I mean, from one fat guy to another, and there's always that fat guy that's athletic and can overcome the fatness. Like when I was a kid, we'd watch What's Happening, and we'd go, how does Rerun dance like that? You know what I mean? And then you watch Refrigerator Perry scoring touchdowns, dunking basketball. How does he do that? Right? There are these special big people that you can tell they're amazing athletes because they still do amazing things, and yet they're carrying around 4 other human beings. It's impressive, man. I got to give Pablo Sandoval some credit. I mean, I know the manager says he's not, Gabe Kapler says he's not worried, but I'd be worried. I'd be worried about Pablo's health. I'm not worried about him play. Obviously, the fat guy can play baseball. I mean, Babe Ruth, there you go. Big fat guy, one of the greatest of all time. What was the name of the Mets guy? Sid Fernandez. Fernandez, whatever. They're all the same. I can say that. Anyway, so Sid had an ass that was the size of an 80-inch screen. I mean, seriously, they would ask Sid Fernandez to take over at certain drive-ins because their screen was down. They could use his ass. I mean, that's kind of what it was with Sid. Pablo Sandoval, I mean, in today's COVID world, he might be able to be a big screen in the drive-in.
You got to think that the MLB's like, God, if this guy makes the team, it just makes us look so non-athletic. This is a guy an embarrassment to the MLB.
Nah, not really.
Right?
I mean, no, the history of the game is known with a fat guy named Babe Ruth.
Yeah, but he ain't no Babe Ruth.
He's been a hell of a player. He's put up numbers fat for years.
But he's got somebody in the locker room tying his shoe for him because he can't bend over and tie it himself.
As long as he can hit the baseball, that's all that matters. That's my point, that there are those guys. That it's so impressive that there are those athletes that get overweight and still can manage to get it done. I mean, this guy gets older and fatter every year, and yet somehow or another he's pitching. What's this guy's name? He's retired right now. He's waiting for somebody. He's pitched for the Mets.
Bartolo Colon.
Colon. I mean, Bartolo Colon
He hit his first home run.
Bartolo
against the Padres last year.
Bartolo Colon can no longer go into locker rooms. He just doesn't fit through the door anymore. He has to go in through the service entrance of every stadium because that's nice and wide. I mean, that's kind of what's happened with Bartolo. You know what I mean? Yet, somehow or another, he wobbles all the way to the mound, and he still pitches.
So he comes out of that big opening between the two bullpens in the outfield?
Yeah.
Because he can't go through the dugout?
I mean, it's impressive. I gotta,
You know what? Speaking of a guy that blew up, you remember Miggy, our guy?
Yes.
He went to Detroit.
Yeah, but
he got a little chunky.
But he had an alcohol issue.
Oh, he's too thirsty?
Yeah, he had an alcohol issue. That was his problem there. All right, we got to wrap it up here on the show. We got to thank all the folks, as always, out here to make it nice and easy here at Inter Miami. We got to thank Bill and Philippe, as always, getting it done on audio and video here on the program. Tomorrow we'll be at VSS West Pines having some fun. Come on out there and join us. We'll have a blast, and we'd love to meet you. We'll be out there from starting off at 12 o'clock. Hopefully we'll be having some fun with the boys, and then we'll be out here ready to go for a little football action. We will see you guys later. We will see you tomorrow. Be safe out there. We thank our super chatters, Ray Grulong and Cookie Vice. As always, thank you for super chatting. Appreciate all of you for tuning in, watching, however it is you download the show at any time of night, day, whatever. Love you all for that.
Wow. Recent research has shown
super chat
makes no sense.
Yeah, you're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply in society.
Wasted no time. Super chat. I thought it was really, 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 really cool.
You should all be very proud of yourself.
I have no response.
Super chat.
That was perfect.
Yes, it is. Thank you. We will see you guys tomorrow. You be good out there. Be safe. All right?